Our reporter Simon Hoban has been to Total Fitness in South Manchester to see how they plan to social distance.
My name's Paul McNicholas. I'm the Operations Director at Total Fitness.
Well, we're here in the reception now of your gym, and it's very quiet, just the aircon rumbling away in the background. But very soon you hope to be opening up. So tell me what moves you've put in place to try and do that.
The key principles really are in around 4 areas. At the moment, we're applying the 2 metre social distancing ruling. Cleaning, vigorous cleaning regimes which will be delivered in-house by our team, but also the expectation is from our members is that they wipe down the kit after usage as well. Capacity control, so we don't have too many people in one place at any one time, and then just education really, educating our team members and the members so that they can operate safely. So I'd like to take you around the club now, if that's okay.
Go for it.
So as you enter the club, you naturally don't touch the turnstile anyway, you just use your body weight. That's the normal sort of entry point.
As we go through here into the first area of the gym, the acoustic changes and my voice echoes out. This is a big, spacious environment, so it's probably quite easy for you to social distance here. But are all your gyms like this?
They are large gyms. I mean, this one is circa 60,000 square foot, and it's one of our smaller ones.
There's the dumbbells there over in the stands. It's been impossible to buy dumbbells on the high street. All the shops are sold out, so people have been working out at home. Are you a bit worried that people might have actually got used to that?
I actually think it's going to be really, really beneficial for us. Even just sort of walking around the street, you see more people exercising than ever. So I think people have adopted that exercise behaviour, and they'll be looking for different ways to increase the fitness. As we go into autumn and winter, they may choose not to want to sort of exercise outside.
I have withered away, Paul, so I'm not going to pick up any of those dumbbells just yet. So we're just going up the stairs here onto the second floor where the massed ranks of the treadmills are.
Yeah, the treadmills, they look closer together at the moment. But what we've done is we've switched every other one off to create that distancing.
You're relying on the members themselves to police it, I suppose, are you? Or will you have more staff around enforcing that?
Yeah, we'll have more staff on hand, and they will go through our values interaction training, which will cover situations where we may need to interact with the members and the best way of interacting with them if we're finding that social distancing is compromised.
Aren't gyms just intrinsically more dangerous places when it comes to corona, though, Paul? You've got people breathing out heavily, they're breathing more quickly. There's more of those respiratory droplets that are known to transmit the disease. How can you mitigate that?
The key way in which we can sort of mitigate that is applying that social distancing. The research tells us that at 1 metre distance, the chances of contagion is 3%. At 2 metres, it's less than half than that. And the members they've been well educated over the last couple of months, so they'll be well aware of that, and our staff will be on hand to facilitate that as well.
We're just walking through now to one of the studios where you would normally run some classes in here, Paul, is that right?
That's right. We have a group exercise timetable which will have a whole host of different varieties of classes. We're here in our mind and body studio, and what we've done again is we've taken the 1 person per 3 metres squared, and we're reducing capacity of all our classes to 50% just to give that more sort of spacious feel.
The other element of gym going, Paul, is personal training. People get one-to-one instruction. How do you intend to operate that when the gym reopens?
Personal trainers are operating now as we speak, whether that's online or in outdoor areas. So personal training will be available on opening. You just won't be able to have that sort of close proximity, people correcting the form. They just have to apply that distancing again.
Paul McNicholas talking to our reporter Simon Hoban. Huw Edwards is the chief executive of ukactive. It has 4,000 members, including gyms like David Lloyd, Pure Gym and Nuffield Health. Huw, thanks for coming on. We heard there from Total Fitness. They have quite large gyms, sort of out of city centre, town centres, but there are a lot of smaller gyms in town centres. How are they going to cope with social distancing?
Good afternoon, and thanks for the invite to come on. So, as you were hearing from that report, our sector is inching towards reopening, and we've been working with our operators of various different sizes, various different backgrounds, both public and private, to look at the government guidance around social distancing and how it could be implemented across their various different facilities. Facilities are a different size, as you rightly say, but this will be based around both hygiene and capacity management and the education of both staff and customers, to make sure that our health and safety standards for customers and workforce are kept consistent with those social distance guidelines.
You're going to have to limit people, aren't you, especially at peak times, even in large gyms?
Absolutely. So one of the interesting things that we're learning from our from partners across mainland Europe is actually the change in the sort of dynamic. We actually have a workforce which is working mostly at home at the moment, and so at the current situation, you're actually not seeing those natural peaks, and so actually a levelling of activity across the whole day. So there will obviously be capacity restrictions, and the teams across the various different operators will monitor that within their working environment. But we're expecting some dynamic change as well as in the context of how people are going to interface with gyms once they do reopen.
Because that was the other point that Simon brought out in his report, isn't it? I think there was a 400% rise in home gym equipment in April. So people spending 30, 40, or up to £100 on their gym membership, they just might think that's better in the bank.
Well, I think it's great that there's been such a profile on exercise by the government and agencies over the last sort of 8 to 10 weeks. I think we know from our own statistics, 87% of our members, when surveyed, are very keen to return to the gym. A lot of new members want to join as well, and one of the activities people are most looking forward to is returning to the gym because of routine, because it's part of their life, and it's something which will actually get them out of the confines of their home as well.
Will all gyms, do you think, reopen? I mean, I know there's a big rent bill coming at the end of June for this last quarter. They've had no income for the last 3 months, high rents and, higher costs on their equipment. They've got very high fixed costs.
I think it's a fair question. I think we're looking at clarity from government on a number of areas. Firstly, private rent. The government needs to extend the moratorium on forfeiture for at least another 90 days as the rent timing is coming in at the end of this month. And whilst it's looking at developing a code of practice between landlords and tenants, it's going to run out of time. And so that extension, that clarity on that extension needs to happen very quickly. On the other side of the sector, looking at public leisure, that is a real pressing point. So, we are calling for government to provide clarity on the funding and the ring-fence funding for public leisure, especially as it's a non-statutory service, and great fears that service will be disappearing unless there is funding which is made available. So there remains a lot of concerns around the financial support, both from the private side around rent and the public leisure side around investment from government. But we also need the clarity on when we open. Okay. And that's a very important thing as well.
Hopefully that will come soon for you. Huw Edwards, Chief Executive of UK Active, thank you very much for coming on the programme.